and get ice cream and get blankets, however contradictory that may be. But I'm going to invite you to find your way to your seats. The way that this is going to work this evening is, as long as you are socializing and you are up and around, we're going to ask you to wear your masks. But when you are in your seat, you are welcome, if you're comfortable, to take it off. Although I have to say, it may keep you a little warmer if you have it on, but you are welcome to do that. Please, please, please do not move your seats. They are situated in such a way to keep everybody socially distanced. It is Sisterhood Shabbat, and so we're so excited to be here with our sisters. It is also the weekend of Johnny Cassell's bar mitzvah, which is really awesome and exciting as well. So mazel tov to the Cassell family. Sisterhood, I know a lot of you have parts in the service, and in order to keep things as tight and moving as possible, Michelle Sherry will be walking around and letting you know when the person before you or the prayer before you is happening, so that you can be on your way up to the microphone as that's happening. We have wipes for the microphones up here, so feel free to use those. And with that said, Cantor, I'm going to throw a wrench in things. Can you start us off with a Shehechianu that we get to be outside together again?
Gladly. I hope you all join me. Remember the words, and if you forget, it's okay, because the intention, the kavanah, is the most important part, in my opinion. The words are Shehechianu. Try that. Shehechianu.
Shehechianu.
V'ki amanu.
V'ki amanu.
V'higianu.
V'higianu.
Lazman.
Lazman.
Hazeh.
Hazeh.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu hazman hazeh.
We're going to begin our service this evening with Erev Shel Shoshanim.
Shoshani, Nitzana el Habustan, Obisami Murekola,
350 in your prayer books.
Ayla Yored Leha, Ruach Shoshani Shabbat, Avayel Chashach Shir Kala, Zenu
So I'm going to invite Lisa Estrin and Beth Wiesner to come forward for their reading. That's going to be on page 6. I want to once again welcome everyone. Throughout the service, we may invite you to rise as you are able. For those of you who stand with your spirits instead of with your legs, we understand that also, and we're just so excited to have you with us this evening.
When we enter the sanctuary to welcome Shabbat, within these walls we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured. A beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak,
Let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to invite Robin Cassell to come forward to lead us on page 3.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
You're going to hear that throughout the service. That's going to be us as cleaning as much as possible. We're going to try and light these Shabbat candles. We'll see with the breeze how this works. And ask you all to pretend that there's a zoom filter of lit candles here and just have that vision in your eyes. We're going to continue with Lefadodi on page 20, verses 1 to 5, and before verse 9 we will write. by Lorraine Orlick and Gail Weiss. Please come forward. There is one microphone here and also one on the table.
I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words in English or Hebrew, no semantics and no surfaces, but I need them. Through prayer I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer,
I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life.
Thank you both so much. We're going to continue with Barfu on page 28. Oh, yes, and we'll be led by Linda Vogel. Brilliant.
Where do that?
Thank you so much. You may be seated. We're going to invite Mona Sussman to lead us on page 30.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Sevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim.
Amen. That's the call. So we're going to invite Marilyn Taylor to come forward to lead us with Ahavat Olam. And that's on page 32.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadata. Al kain Adonai Eloheinu, B'shachbenu uv'komenu, Nasiach b'chukecha, V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, U'mitzvotecha le'olam ve'ed. Ki hem achainu u'va'orech yameinu, U'vahem nege yomam v'layla. V'ahavatecha al tasir mimenu la'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Amen. And Yashakah. We invite Candy Cassover to come forward to lead us in Shema on page 34. What a blessing to have so many capable people to lead us.
We'll see. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
I was right, Kenzie. Capable people. What can I say? All right, and Lisa Glick is going to lead us now on page 37.
V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher Anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatan levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shiftecha b'vetecha uv'leftecha v'derech uv'shoftecha uv'kumecha Ukshatam leot al yadeka v'hayu letotafot beinecha Uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha Leman tizkaru v'asitem ekol mitzvotai v'tem kiddushim lelolechem Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher Otzeechem, Meretz Mitzrayim, L'chiyot lachem, L'Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Thank you so much, Lisa. And we're going to invite Nancy Levine and Leslie Sapienza to lead us on page 38.
All this we hold to be true and trustworthy for us. You alone are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You are our sovereign and Savior, who delivers us from oppressors' hands and saves us from tyrants' fists. You work wonders without number, marvels beyond count. You give us life and steady our footsteps.
You perform miracles for us before Pharaoh, signs and wonders in the land of the Egyptians. You led your people, Israel, out from their midst to freedom for all time. When your children witnessed your dominance, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously.
Thank you both so much. We're on page 40 with Micha Mocha.
Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed.
Thank you so much. And Jill Perlman. I know the difference. It's the run. It's just, he's so beautiful and so are you. Thank you. I tried. Page 45.
A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night. Eternity utters a day.
Thank you, Jill. We continue with the Amidah, beginning on page 48. Please rise as you are able.
Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaKadosh, HaGibor HaNorah, Elohim, גומר חסדים הטובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר בחרבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו ואהבה. מלך חוזר משה ומגן ברוך, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה.
Page 50.
הגיבור אל המרנה, וחיי הכל הקרה בשיבה, מוריד הקרוב, וכלכל חיים בחסד, וחיי הכל ברחמים, צודק נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומתקיים אמונתו, לשנה עפר, מי כמוך בגבורות ומדרנה, ומלך נגיד ומחרב ומשמיע ישועה, ולאמונתה להיות הטוב. ברוך אתה אדוני וקיים הטוב. הקדוש, ושמך הקדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה, אדוני, האל הקדוש.
I'd like to invite Jane Touch to come forward to lead us in Shalom Rav. You may be seated. We're on page 60. 62.
Before I start, I hope that you'll all sing with me and sing to the heavens so our dear sister Jody can hear us all. This week are in the double parsha Behar Bechukotai, and as befits a congregation in its 50th year, there are laws in this parsha regarding the sabbatical of the land in the 50th and the 50th year jubilee. And we get the jubilee laws for the land and the reasons for that jubilee. There are laws protecting the Israelites from permanent poverty and servitude, laws protecting land holdings, homes, and Israelites from debt slavery. And then in Bechukotai, the last chapter of the book of Exodus, we ensure the observance of the commandments. There are blessings for obedience and curses for disobedience. And finally, the funding, gifts, and the dues to the sanctuary. But that's not a hint or anything, it's biblical, so there we go. We're going to bring the Torah forward in honor of the Burke, Mack, and Simpson families. Please rise as you are able. We're on page 244.
Ein kamocha Elohim Adonai Ein k'ma'asecha Malchutecha malchut kol ha'amim U'memshaltecha b'chodo v'ador Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai Himelech Le'olam Va'ed Adonai Oz Le'amo Yiteh Adonai Varech et Amo Vashalom. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu Kadosh, Adonai Kadosh Shemo.
I'd like to invite Barry Cassell to come forward. He's going to bless the Torah this evening. Barry, if I can invite you to go to that microphone. And everyone else may be seated.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam. Asher bakar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
וידבר אדוני אל משה בהר סיני לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם, כי תבואו אל הארץ אשר אני נותן לכם, ושבתה הארץ שבת אדוני 6 שנים תזרע שדך, ו6 שנים תזמור כרמך, ואספת את תבואתה, ובשנה השביעית שבת שבתון יהיה לארץ, שבת לאדוני שדך בו תזרע, וכרמך בו תזמור.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam notah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Yashikah. The Torah before us that we think of all of those who are in need of healing. We think, of course, of all of those affected by crisis in these challenging times. Our neighbors, our loved ones, and also those far and wide, be it as far as India or as close as our own community. Tonight we recite the names of Marilyn Bernstein, Bob Bieber, Jan Blumenthal Ang, Sheila Boylan, Lori Rosenblum Brown, Olivia Burton, Richard Burton, Marcia Bialik, Bernadette Pacey, Rosanna Queerduyo and Carol Queerduyo, Sandy Cohen, Meredith Connolly DeDelectus, Don DeGenario, Noel Drower and Daniel Duffin, Gary Duglin and Peg Duglin, Wayne Duglin, Doris Fader, Phil Greenberg, Henry Heitman, Jack Hurahan, Larry Israel, Cheryl Goodman Jacobs, John Jelinek, Ellen Jones, Zarek Karagolian and Natalie Karagolian, Barbara Lasher, Rachel Lawrence, Molly Ludlow, Lori Machard, Kathleen McLean, Jim McGilloway, Tova Medetsky, and Maureen Morell, Bob Muscat, Audrey Nadolny, John Newman, Marion Newman, Allison Ocean, Carolyn Ocean, and Ronald Ocean, Deborah Ruth Prakowski, Stephen Prince, Kiva Reinstein, Mary Rhodes, Marlene Rosalinsky, Ruth Rubenstein, Sal Russo and Nicole Seringer, Karen Sakow, Arthur Schlesinger, Dina Schogel, Jack Silver, Ruth Solomon, Louis Santup, and Christopher Spenning, Carissa Walsh, Audrey Weinberg, Mark Wells, Beth Wiesner, Sarah Wolf, Mark Young, Wendy Zuckerman, Howard Zukoff, Shiri Rachel, Batchana Rivka, Shoshana Irit, and Laser Ben Yaakov. If there are others that you were thinking of tonight and whose names you would like to say aloud for Mishabarach, I invite you to share them at this time.
Lawrence Greenberg. Jerry Gray, Sonia Barron, Anatoly Barron.
I'd like to invite you to rise as you are able and to draw close to those whom you are sitting with. I'd like to invite you to remain standing as Pancher lifts the Torah and I dress it. We're going to return it to its place in honor of the Altman, Levinson, and Hofford families. You may once again be seated as we invite Mona Sussman and Linda Vogel to share a little bit about the state of the sisterhood.
Hi, Sisterhood is so glad to welcome everyone back to BHSS in person. And many things have been on hold this year, but Sisterhood has managed to be present in many ways. Our year began with the baking craze as we learned to braid and bake challah over Zoom. We joined with BHSS Youth for a virtual scavenger hunt that was more exciting than we could have ever imagined. We hosted a Zoom discussion on racial justice, and we learned to LinkedIn because we knew someday we would be back at work. Our two Sisterhood Kindness Chains gave us the opportunity to be creative and to reach out to new friends. We delivered and received gifts of goodness. Building our very own wine bottle fairy lamps was another fun Zoom that we shared.
We spent an evening focusing on our wellness when our doctor's Jen helped us in dealing with stressors that we've all been facing. Also, we hosted a comedy night with word mavens. We managed to bring back our beloved Miriam Seder with thanks to our Zoom experts, our expert bakers, and our Rabbi Alana. We continue to support our social welfare initiatives, such as Oasis and the Soup Kitchens, and collected pajamas and other items to deliver to our neighbors in need. BHS Sisterhood came together for each other and for our community. I personally found my best friends by being part of it, and know when needed, my sisters will be there for me. BHS Sisterhood came together for In June, we will thank our outgoing board members and welcome our new board. Join us again this fall to be part of what we do.
You are not alone, and I am not alone.
We are in a sisterhood, and together we can make it.
Thank you, ladies, and thank you to all of the sisters who have made this year one that reminded us how important community can be and how resilient community can be. I'd like to invite Lisa Lamster and Cindy Buckhalter to come forward. They're going to lead us in Aleinu L'Shabbat, they're going to lead us in a reading during Aleinu L'Shabbat. We're on page 282. Please rise as you are able.
Aleinu L'Shabbat l'Adon HaKol, לתת תרועה יוצא בראשית, של הוסנו פלאי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, ולא ראינו ככל המונה. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלך המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
You may be seated. We've got a reading on page 287.
May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved, each of us, for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair.
Rise up like the sun, O God, over humanity. Cause light to go forth over the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
ונאמר ויד אדוני למלך כל הארץ היום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
A few announcements. Mazel Tov to the Cassell family on the occasion of Johnny's bar mitzvah tomorrow. Next week we'll be celebrating with the Altman family as Matt becomes a bar mitzvah. We're very excited about that also. Cantor and I will be leading a Havdalah service tomorrow night via Zoom. If you've got Spike's Lemonade, bring it. 7 p.m. we'll have our sort of meet and greet that we do, and the Havdalah service will begin at 7:30. We are partnering with Temple Beth Rishon to present Jane Clementi, who is a founder of the Clementi Foundation, and she'll be speaking about bullying and mental health. That is a Zoom presentation. Shavuot is May 16th, and we'll be joining Barnard Temple for the Yizkor service, the festival service, and a learning session with Rabbi David Siegel. And of course, it's only a few weeks away, the BHSS 50th anniversary celebration, Sunday, March 23rd. It's going to be a blast. I look forward to seeing you all there. I want to thank all of our sisters for participating in our service tonight. I want to thank you all for braving the cold and for being really patient as I remember that we have to announce page numbers. We don't just have a screen in front of us. So thank you for being understanding of all of that. If you are celebrating a May birthday, could you stand up? There we go. Excellent. So I want big voices, my friends. Tell me your name, your birthday, and if you want to, tell us how old you are. Stacy Coyne. I know your name, yes. May 1st, May Day. Happy belated birthday. 55. It's a good age. It suits you well. Excellent. May 21st, Matt Altman turns 13. Woo! And your twin isn't here this evening, but I know that Janet Javer is going to be celebrating with you. Excellent. May 20th, more than 55, and your name in a big voice? Harold Levine? Beautiful, glad to have you.
Harris Ronstein, May 16, will be 75.
Woo! Excellent. Yay! The two of the Ronsteins are turning 75 in the same week. We're so glad. Happy birthday! And Ross, can I tell you that you have the punum to be a punum? I was looking up here, I was like, I know that face, so I love it. Wonderful.
My name is Elon Barron, and my birthday is May 14th.
May 14th, and how old are you going to be? You can tell us?
12.
12! It's a good year.
What day?
What said, old enough to know better, young enough not to care? Was that? Very nice. And what's your birthday, Mike? May 22nd. And where is Daryl Spencer anyway? Yeah. Talking in the back, as the May 2nd family would have it. When your birthday is the same as my kid, I know when it falls. So there you go. Cantor, can we sing to these lovely people?
Absolutely. I hope you'll join me then. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, May birthdays. Happy birthday to you.
Yay! It's wonderful to be able to celebrate with you. My next birthday, don't worry, you'll get your chocolate. I know, that's the part you all miss the most. Okay. I'm on page 290. Why should I wish to see God better than this day? I see something of God in each hour of the 24 and in each moment then. In the faces of men and women, I see God. And in my own face in the glass, I find letters from God dropped in the street, and every one is signed by God's name. And I leave them where they are. For I know that wheresoe'er I go, others will punctually come forever and ever. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. Mourner's Kaddish is on page 294, and as I read the names of those we remember tonight, I invite you to stand when the name of your loved one is recited. We are in Shloshim, the 30-day memorial period for Ron Brabick, cousin of Leslie Kersner, and we commemorate the yard sites, the anniversary of the passing of Cindy Allman, wife of Willard Allman, Ruth Baum, stepmother of Kathy Liebman, Ruth Buckler, cousin of Marilyn Taylor, Florence David, mother of Marilyn Bernstein, Arthur Fassler, uncle of Terry Sittimer, David Goldman, brother of Beth Wiesner, Laura Kahn, grandmother of David Ben-Dayan, Bertha Lipsker, mother of Nora Berger, Helen Osherowitz, grandmother of David Aarons, Norma Pallant, mother of Larry Pallant, Mitchell Pariser, father of Stacy Fishkin, and Phoebe Peister, sister of Fern Lowenfeld, Frances Rose, aunt of Sharon Berman, John Rothman, father of Diane Schechtman, and Lyle Schlüssel, son of Alan Schlüssel, Janice Schwartz, wife of David Schwartz, Stanley Spellman, father of Carol Schulman, Sophie Squires, sister of Bernice Widman Medici, Rabbi Milton Weinberg, father of Ariel Weinberg and Hillel Weinberg, Rose Zom, mother of Pearl Myers. We also remember Nathan Gurian, Mayor Koralnik, Richard Karp, and Noah Tepelitsky. If there are others for whom you are reciting Kaddish or in mourning, I invite you to share their names at this time. support of our mourners, and of course for those who have no one to recite Kaddish for them. Page 294. Yitzgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma divra chilutei v'yamrich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala u'bizman kariv yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah barach le'olam umei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitrobam v'yitnaseh, v'yitchagar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudusha b'richu, ve'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiram be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mroma v'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel. And we say, amen. You may be seated unless you're Johnny Cassell, in which case you may not be seated because you're going to come up and lead us in Kiddush, please. Page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei peri hagachem.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher k'dushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzah b'anu, v'shabbat kodsho v'achava uvratzon hin hilanu, zikaron l'ma'aseh b'reishit, kihu yom tehillah Lemigdalei Kodesh, Zecher Litziach Mitzrayim, Kivanu B'acharta, Ve'otanu Kidashta, Mikol Ha'amim, B'Shabbat Kodshecha, Be'achava Ufratzon, Fin Haltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. You can drink some l'chaim. You're like, I don't trust this, but it's good. Try it anyway. Yes, excellent. Good. You can take it with you. You can put it down however you feel most comfortable. Good. I'd like to invite Stacy Coyne, who's going to lead us in our closing song on page 321. And for all of you who said it couldn't be done, look at your watches. We're at 1 hour. 3:42, even better. 3:42.
Yeah. So I'll give you those. Oh. So here it goes. Is that
We coordinated in advance.
Yes? Yep. All right.